Welcome to Ohio EdTech's Digital Learning Day. This session, Social Emotional Learning with WOSU Classroom and PBS, will be sharing with you some content and resources that you can easily share and build more resiliency with your students, more responsive practices inside your classroom, and also some more powerful and effective partnerships with families, homes, and community. I am Ellen Cahill, one of the instructional design consultants with WOSU Classroom. I bring with me years of experience as a curriculum coordinator working with teachers to develop courses of study and identifying materials to help deliver that content, as well as a special education instructor. I started off my days as a 6th through 8th grade self-contained special education teacher where students were looking at trying to, how quickly can we get under the skin of this teacher? And I realized pretty quickly that I could have a fantastic lesson of the day, but unless we were able to cope and get through all of the emotions that kids are carrying from these trauma-filled environments that they live in, that there wasn't going to be a whole lot of learning to go on. So with this, the social emotional learning is a very passionate topic of mine, and looking at how and ways in which we can grow a deeper respect for how emotions are a part of what makes us human, and they do provide a way for us to communicate and connect with others. Often, however, that language of emotions can feel intimidating, foreign, and even inadequate. And so to help students bridge this vocabulary gap, we're going to look today at some ways in which you can help students label or name their emotions in fun and engaging ways so that it will look to invite empathy, growing stronger friendships, better relationships with peers, as well as with adults inside and outside of your classroom. If you would like to have a copy of this presentation, I have provided the bit.ly so that you can go ahead and access the Google Drive or the Google Slides that have all the live connections for you. In our session today, we're going to grow our understanding of the impact of SEL not only on well-being, but also on the academics of the day. I'm going to share with you a new WOS resource to open up conversations about emotions and give you some materials that you can share with parents and colleagues to extend the learning beyond just what it is you're doing in the classroom. You can see this by the renderings of this little unicorn here that our students are often worried. I'm hearing more and more that our students are stressed, they're anxious, and they're depressed. And if you're sensing that as well, you aren't alone. That in a recent survey conducted by the Learning Council on digital curriculum, one of the number one pressure points cited by over 500 U.S. schools and districts was social emotional learning. While we're becoming better at identifying digital curriculum and content to use, and while we are looking at new approaches to get the learning models to become more personalized, we still really are struggling with helping students deal with the stress that they are living each and every day. In looking at this and beginning this, we know that schools are looking at SEL as a process, that more and more schools are integrating more complex PBIS systems inside their school. You're integrating more trauma-informed practices. You're looking at resources to include more mental health services. That it's still important, though, that we recognize that the well-being depends on our understanding not only what we see around us, but also how we perceive it. And so in order to do that effectively, we need to recognize that no matter what we're doing with SEL, it's a process that we're intentionally modeling. Research shows that emotions tell us what the knowledge of our senses are. They help us motivate us to act. That emotions impact our attention, our memory. They play a role in how effective we're able to make decisions. And they also are connected to just our general health and well-being and the quality of relationships we have, but also help us become more creative. The benefits of SEL have been proven. As a result of 2017, the impact notes that not when students participate in these programs, they have improved behavior, they have an increased ability to manage stress and depression, they have better attitudes about themselves, other, and school. But more importantly, what was discovered by this meta-analysis from Kessel is that it sticks, that students who have been a part of this, there's a value-added approach that shows that those students participating in these programs will see these benefits last for a sustainable period of time up to 18 years. ODE also is highlighting how vital this is and has shown its importance in identifying it as one of the 4 learning domains. If you notice, these 4 domains are all in a quadrant, they're all equal, but it's not meant to be a standalone that you do this separately, kind of on their own. In a strength-based model, we're looking at ways in which we can really integrate this holistically within whatever it is that we're doing for building academics and community in our classrooms. I have included on this page links to the SEL portal so that you can find all the grade level standards, as well as a very attractive poster that if you would like to go ahead and copy that, you can hang that up in your classroom or share that with parents. What we're looking at, too, is that giving the students the opportunity to understand how to embrace UBU leverages a stronger sense of self. And that understanding, that identity, that sense of self not only happens when you understand how you feel about yourself, but also that you put in perspective how others see you. And we're doing this with strategies to help students check in. So in these materials that we're going to be presenting today, we really are hoping that you will be able to use these in such a way that can easily help students recognize how their own emotions others are not just in what we say and feel, but also that we can also look for them in body language and facial expressions. That we understand that these feelings can come from sources that come not only just in the moment that we're living, but we might also be carrying some emotions from what we've noticed or felt at the bus stop, or a conversation we had with an adult before we even came to school, or something that's happened. So they tend to bubble up in these moments, and we want students to be able to use language in a very nuanced way so that they can invite empathy and help begin that regulation process. We want students to be able to use that understanding that we all feel, we all have emotions, but we want to help them find those strategies to cope and share with others how they feel. So important not to fall into all of this process is that we want students that it's not a trap, that it's first that we want to grow this awareness, and this awareness process is first noticing that it's quickly something, it's human nature that will judge and will just put all this angst on our shoulders, when really all we need to do first is just kind of notice it and observe it, and then kind of go with a sense of curiosity about how these emotions are resulting in the moment. With this, we are thrilled to introduce with you at WOSU Drawing with Mr. J. This is a tool to help educators, counselors, and parents start that conversation in self-awareness, in recognizing one's emotions and thoughts and their influences on behavior. All of these resources are accessible free on our website, and Mr. J is really looking at inviting students to draw along as they identify basic emotions like happiness on their faces when we are having fun or trying something new. So with this drawing, Mr. J, it's a series of short videos, and it really is using these really quick little drawing challenges with this. So Mr. J is John Jarovich. He is the creative inspiration of this video series, and he discusses how sharing emotions are important. So he has a elementary art teacher at Liberty Tree Elementary in Olentangy local schools outside of Columbus. He's been honored as the 2018 Ohio Teacher of the Year and one of 4 of the finalists for the national title, Teacher of the Year. But Mr. J's personal and professional focus is on the importance of social emotional learning in our daily lives. And he has worked with WOSU Public Media to create this video series of that really kind of introduce drawing challenges. And so emphasizing these drawing challenges is kind of the backstory of Mr. J, how these connections can be designed into learning and help us understand better how we interact. And so with the spirit of fun and play, he kind of has inside his classroom, as the kids come in, it being art, they come in once a week, but they know that there will be a 2-minute drawing challenge where they quickly sketch on pieces of paper that are just small, the size of a Post-it note. And you'll see examples here that it is vegetables wearing mustaches. And so he quickly gets kids kind of tuned in and focused. And in these quick draws, he has quickly come to realize what an easy tool it is for students to check in and help understand their emotions. With this, I want to launch. You can kind of see as don't have the sound on this, but these videos are 2 to 3 or about 3 to 4 minutes in length. And the first one is called Fruit Dance Party. And in this first one focuses on being happy. Each video promotes a view and sketch with easy to follow steps to draw. We quickly understand how many people, we were at OETC and we had folks quickly draw how they felt, and probably 5 out of 7 before they even got the pen to paper were qualifying their drawing, saying that they couldn't draw. So we thought it was really important when they developed these videos to have him actively model this. And so you can kind of see in these videos, he talks kids through how you might draw, for instance, a fruit. In the second one, we're working with a prickly cactus, inviting students to draw a face on a plant to know what it means to feel grumpy and prickly. So there ultimately will be 8 videos in this series. Right now there are 2 on the website, and you can access them by that link provided here. For those of you watching today, this is the code you can use to get your contact hours. So I'll give you a moment to either do a screenshot or write that down. To kind of help share with you, each video has what they call a companion guide. And inside the companion guide, it integrates Ohio SEL standards. You can see how it includes directions for that view and sketch and gives you about 5 minutes to do that. how you can easily extend this with conversation. So he gives you some questions to help start that conversation, in addition to giving you a home to school that you can easily copy and paste into newsletters, what you've done in class today, how you started the conversation with questions, in addition to giving them some picture storybooks to kind of help show the different kinds of ways in which parents can go ahead and explore these topics at home. In these companion guides, these are the 3 books that we have tagged with the fruit dance or party, and there are links to Amazon to all of these books. If you're looking for even more literature connections and extensions, there is a link here with the Berkeley Good Feeling connections there. So there's a whole list of a wide array of picture books with this that you can kind of help use to share with parents and build on that academic learning. In a recent session, we even heard that there are some ways in which teachers are using social emotional learning in chapter books, and how they're looking at deep exploration of characters and their emotions, and having them kind of pose a what if the character felt something else. How do you think that story would progress next? And so I thought that was a pretty cool way to look at ways in which we're talking about social emotional learning inside academics directly. To give you some connections with PBS Learning, if any of you have a little one in your life, I'm sure that you recognize a lot of these resources. With Daniel the Tiger, he is the rock star among preschoolers. And with these preschoolers, they have this series called Daniel the Tiger, and it really does focus on managing feelings and emotions. They have great resources for preschoolers and early learners, and I provided the link to you for that. For grades 5 through kindergarten, we have Arthur. The AIM Buddy project is Arthur's interactive media, and he has 5 topics that encourage empathy, honesty, forgiveness, generosity, and learning from others. So included in there are great guides, videos, and different other kind of content that you can easily use and share with parents and drop into your classrooms. For those of you looking at other kinds of resources to share with parents, PBS, there are links here. When you tag on to those images, you'll be able to see some resources that will directly tie into some games that kids can kind of play along and get a better recognition on how emotions, feelings, and relationships work. And we've also included some Sesame Street songs, because what wouldn't be Sesame if you're not doing a little bit of singing along there? So as we end this session, I want to kind of help share with you once again, we have the link Drawing with Mr. J. I hope you take a moment to look at the page. As I said, there are 2 videos on this page so far. We will be about once a month introduce a new video. We're going to be talking about stress and some upcoming issues, mixed emotions, how to cope with disappointment. And so check out those drawing challenges and see what it is. Mr. J is going to help model some new ways to kind of explore how I'm feeling. Feel free to join in, hashtag Drawing with Mr. J. You can see that some of the renderings by kids are already starting to make their way out into social media. Love this one. If you can kind of see on the left-hand side here, the trust fall where an apple is falling into a banana, kind of cute, and kind of seeing how emotions can be portrayed and how easily students are kind of jumping into the movement and showcase. If you'd like to showcase your work, feel free. And with this, I would like to thank you. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to send me an email. And thank you very much.